After Elsa loses control of her own powers, Princess Anna must find her to save her kingdom from the eternal winter. Today we're going to recap the story of the movie, Frozen, from 2013. Several men cut ice cubes in an intense winter, while others use tools to remove them from the water. Afterwards, everyone loads up the material for sale, and a young man called Kristoff and his reindeer Sven accompany them. Princess Elsa is sleeping peacefully when Anna wakes her up. The little girl wants to play in the snow anyway, so the two of them leave the room in the middle of the dark night. Suddenly, one of the girls does some kind of magic with her hands and throws a sparkler into the air, which produces a magical rain. In a few seconds the hall is filled with ice and the two make a snowman they call Olaf. Elsa makes several ice mountains that Anna jumps off one by one. However, the girl slips and fails to create the last mountain, which causes her sister to fall to the ground and faint. The kings appear and realize that the girl is cold and lifeless. They immediately look for a specific book and set off in search of help. Along the way, Kristoff finds the trail of ice and goes to spy on the family. They arrive at a place in the forest and dozens of trolls appear. The oldest troll says that the girl's powers are getting stronger and stronger. What's more, in order to cure Anna, he must remove all memories of Elsa's powers from her. The princess must learn to control her magic, otherwise she will become an evil person. Faced with this situation, her parents decide to keep her powers a secret, even from her sister. After a few years, Anna only remembers her friendship with Elsa, but not her magical powers, and yet she always invites her to play. The girl is so afraid of using her magic that she hides her hands in gloves so that she can keep her parents and sister safe. One day, the king and queen set off on a journey and leave their daughters alone. During the journey, a very strong storm occurs at sea, which causes a fatal accident and the couple lose their lives. During the mourning period, Anna tries to persuade Elsa to talk because people in the village are asking about her, but the girl doesn't even leave her room. After 3 years, the citizens of Arendelle are preparing for Queen Elsa's coronation ceremony. The crown staff try to wake Anna up as the gates are about to open, and she gets ready in a few seconds to attend to her sister. The princess wants to meet Prince Charming on the night of the ball that day. On the other hand, Elsa isn't excited about the coronation, she's still afraid to use her powers. Princess Anna goes into the crowd to greet the people entering the castle, while Elsa looks on from the queen's altar. In the village, Anna is hit by a horse and falls into a boat. At that moment, a young man tries to help her, who identifies himself as Prince Hans of the Southern Isles. When she introduces herself, the young man is surprised and almost knocks her into the water, but he saves her and the two of them fall into the boat together. Just then, the bells ring and the girl rushes off to the coronation ceremony, causing the prince to get distracted and fall into the lake. In the castle, Elsa must remove her gloves to get the crown and scepter, but she is afraid of losing control of her powers. When the objects start to freeze, she quickly puts them back on the cushion and puts her gloves back on. While the sisters are talking, the Duke of Wesselton introduces himself and accidentally reveals his wig as he bows his head in obeisance. The Lord wants to dance with the Majesty, but Elsa claims she can't dance and asks the princess to go instead. After the dance, Anna tells her sister that she would like the two of them to continue their friendship, but she tells her that she can't. The princess returns to the ballroom and a man trips over her dress, which makes her realize it's Hans, so the two of them dance the night away and then take a walk in the garden. The prince has more than 10 siblings who are very close to him. On the other hand, Anna says that her sister distanced herself from her a long time ago, and that she doesn't know why this happened. During the conversation, Hans proposes to the princess and she accepts. A few minutes later, Anna asks the queen for her blessing for the wedding. However, the queen does not give permission for the couple because her sister does not know the young man. The princess then grabs Elsa and accidentally removes her glove. The queen tries to pull away, but ends up firing a powerful ice barrier at the people in the hall. Elsa runs outside, and the place is full of people waiting to congratulate her on her coronation. The queen finds herself surrounded by the crowd, so she touches a water fountain, causing the liquid to freeze in a bizarre way, which frightens people. The Duke infuriates Elsa, so she shoots ice at the castle door and is called a monster. At that moment, Anna tries to calm her down, but the queen runs away through the snow and realizes that when she steps into the water, the lake freezes. She then uses this power to escape from the people. All the liquid around her begins to freeze completely and her powers cause snow all over the region. Anna tells the townspeople that this is her fault because she pressured her sister. She asks the prince to take care of the village on her behalf and calls the horse to go in search of Elsa. The queen walks through the snow in a deserted place, so she uses her magic freely and builds ice crystals. She creates a bridge and uses her powers without any limits. Suddenly, The young woman builds an ice palace after erecting walls and closing a roof on top with crystals that point towards the ground. Finally, she changes her look and creates a dress from her magic. Anna continues in search of her sister, but is surprised when a tree full of ice falls on her head and the horse leaves her alone in the snow. The princess sets off on her journey on foot, and along the way, she finds a hut, but gets distracted and falls into a freezing stream, which turns her dress to ice. The place is a trading post with various trinkets and services, from bathing suits to a sauna. The girl is greeted by a bearded man called Oken. A young man covered in snow invades the hut. He buys carrots and tries to ignore the young woman's presence. Kristoff sells ice to survive and tries to negotiate with the old man, who wants to sell carrots for an absurd price, so the young man accuses him of theft and is thrown out of the hut for it. Later, the knight is resting in a barn with his reindeer Sven, when he is surprised by Anna. She wants to be escorted to the north, and in return she gives him a bag with the tools and carrots he wanted to buy. The young man accepts, and the group sets off that very moment. Anna tells the young man how the whole mess happened, including that she got engaged to a man she had just met, which makes Kristoff indignant. Suddenly, the young man asks the princess to be quiet and stops the carriage. Bright eyes appear in the darkness, which makes Kristoff speed up the sleigh. A pack of wolves begins to chase the group, so they must keep control to avoid falling out of the vehicle. One of the animals tries to advance against the group, but the princess manages to hit it hard. On the other hand, the rider falls off the sled and hangs by a rope while the wolves try to grab him. Anna throws a flaming object at the animals, enabling Kristoff to climb into the vehicle. However, just ahead on the road is a cliff. The young man throws the princess onto the front of the sled in the back, where he loses speed and is about to fall into the gorge. In a few seconds, Kristoff manages to hold onto the edge of the cliff and the wolves are left behind. The young man slips into the abyss, but Anna throws him a hook to hold onto. She manages to pull him up. During the journey, the girl observes the village of Arendelle and realizes that it is frozen. When they arrive in the woods, a snowman appears and Anna is startled, so she kicks him, causing his head to slip off his body. The girl realizes that he has no nose, so she puts a carrot on his face, which goes almost all the way through his head. The creature introduces itself as Olaf, which resembles the snowman from the two sisters' childhood, but Anna doesn't remember him. Olaf says that Elsa was the one who raised him and that he can take them to the queen. The young princess says that her sister needs to bring back summer and the snowman tells her that he would like to live in summer, imagining what it would be like. Kristoff believes that someone should tell Olaf that he won't survive this season, but the princess stops him from telling the truth. While Hans helps the population with donations, the Duke tries to stop him, and the two are interrupted when the young man's horse returns from the mission without Anna present. The prince tells everyone in the village that the princess is in danger and that he needs volunteers to accompany him on a mission to rescue the girl. At the same time, Kristoff is preparing to climb a very steep hill, but Anna is already climbing without any equipment and is in danger of falling. The girl believes she has managed to climb a long way, but in fact she is still close to the ground. However, there is a staircase on the side that they can use to get across. In this way, the princess jumps off the mountain she was on and falls into Kristoff's arms. After climbing the stairs, Anna knocks on the castle door, which opens by itself. The girl asks her friends to wait outside, since the last time she introduced someone to her sister she tried to freeze them. Inside the palace, Elsa appears at the top of the stairs. However, she wants to be alone, so she can't hurt anyone. Suddenly, Olaf bursts into the hall and the Ice Queen can't believe the snowman is alive. Anna says that they could be close again, but Elsa remembers how she hurt her sister when they were younger, so she walks away and asks everyone to leave. Faced with this situation, Anna reveals that Arendelle is sunk in snow, which is why the population is unwell. A snowstorm rages around Elsa and an explosion causes her magic to be expelled and hit her sister. Even so, the young girl refuses to leave, but the queen creates an ice monster, which drives the three friends out of the castle. The princess refuses to leave and throws a ball of ice at the creature, which starts running after the group. Anna and Kristoff flee up the mountain and the girl manages to strike the monster by bouncing a tree upwards. After that, they come across a cliff, so the knight ties a rope to the princess so they can both abseil down. The creature throws a tree at them, which passes very close to them. Anna jumps off the cliff at the wrong moment, which surprises Kristoff, who is forcibly pulled down as he is tied to the other end of the rope. Olaf arrives at the edge of the cliff and the monster is right behind him, so the snowman tries to stop him, but is kicked and falls into the abyss. The princess and Kristoff must descend faster and faster, but the enemy catches them by the rope and shouts at them not to return. Anna quickly cuts the rope and sends the pair tumbling onto the ice. During an argument with the girl, Kristoff notices that her hair is turning white. He believes this is because of the blow she received from the queen. In her castle, Elsa tries to contain her powers and her thoughts, but she is increasingly surrounded by snow. Kristoff and the princess head into the woods to find the young man's friends, whom he warns are noisy and stubborn. In a random place, the young man starts talking to some stones on the ground, which confuses his traveling companions. At that moment, Olaf tries to distract the young man so that Anna will run away, as they believe he has gone mad. In a few seconds, the rocks begin to move and dozens of trolls appear. When they realize there's a girl there, they all cheer up. What's more, they confess that they support the new couple, but the young man reveals that the girl is engaged to another man. Even so, the little ones believe that the two of them can be together. They even prepare an impromptu wedding, but the young woman faints and Kristoff realizes that she is very cold. One of the older trolls says that there is something strange about her and that her life is in danger. In her heart there is ice, which, if not removed as soon as possible, will turn the girl into snow forever. The old troll can't fix it, because only an act of true love can melt a frozen heart. Anna's hair becomes whiter and whiter, so Kristoff decides that they should go and find Hans so that he can kiss the girl. At the same time, the prince arrives at the ice castle. He intends to enter the palace and asks his guards to be vigilant, but not to harm the queen. Just as he is about to climb the stairs, Hans is surprised by the monster, which lunges at him and tries to grab him. The guards then shoot at the creature, which only makes it angrier. The queen comes out of the palace and some men from the village run to attack her. Inside the castle, she asks them to lower their guard, but the men throw arrows at her and the ice protects her. The men continue to advance on Elsa, and she protects herself with her magic. The prince is about to enter the palace, but is struck by the snow creature, which almost knocks him over the cliff. Hans holds on tight to the bridge and is saved by his guards. On the other hand, the monster falls into the abyss. Elsa hits one of the guards with ice spikes and disarms the other by surrounding him with crystal walls. She presses the guy against the wall, then the structure breaks and the man stands on the edge of the precipice. However, Hans appears and asks her to calm down, at which point one of the men who was being held by the girl fires an arrow at her, but the prince is quick and makes the projectile hit a huge chandelier on the ceiling. In a few seconds, all the ice falls to the ground and narrowly misses the queen, even though she faints. Later, Elsa wakes up in an Arendelle prison with her hands chained. Soon after, the prince begs the queen to stop the winter because only she can do that. What's more, Anna hasn't returned from her trip yet, but the queen says she can't make summer come back. Meanwhile, Kristoff is running full steam towards the village. The castle guards open the way for the two, but the princess enters the fortress alone, and the young man leaves with Sven. Upon meeting her fiancé, Anna reveals that she has been dealt a lethal blow by her sister, even after trusting her, and that only the kiss of true love can save her frozen heart. At that moment, Hans prepares to kiss her, but stops at the last second. He confesses that he is 13th in line to succeed his kingdom and that he wanted to get a throne by marrying someone else. The young man puts out the fire and this makes the girl even colder. He knew he wouldn't be able to marry Elsa, so he tried to win over her needy sister. What's more, he intended to cause an accident with the queen and, after getting married, become the next king. Now that Hans has revealed his true intentions, he will save Elsa's village and thus become known as the hero of Arendelle. When he meets up with the other lords, the prince tells them that the princess lost her life because of the queen, and that they were able to pronounce their wedding vows before she perishes. As a result, everyone believes her to be a monster and the prince accuses her of treason and sentences her to elimination. At the same time, Elsa freezes everything in the prison in order to free herself. Then the guards break in with Hans, but she manages to escape first. Sven insists that his friend return to the village, so Kristoff realizes that there is a storm around the castle and returns to the site at the same time. In the castle, Anna notices someone trying to open the door and is surprised when Olaf manages to pick the lock with his carrot nose. The snowman puts more wood in the fireplace to warm up the room. The princess tries to warn him to stay away from the fire, but she's too weak and Olaf doesn't mind risking himself to help her. Then the snowman takes Anna close to the flames and she tells him the whole truth about Hans. The little one reveals that Kristoff really likes her, and that true love isn't just about liking, but about putting the other person's needs before your own. At that moment, he realizes that he is melting, and a freezing wind opens the window. Olaf uses an ice crystal as binoculars and realizes that Kristoff and Sven are outside the castle. At that moment, they decide to reach the knight as soon as possible, because he could be Anna's true love. Suddenly, the castle walls begin to freeze and ice spikes appear in the corridors, preventing the two friends from passing through. So the pair jump out of the window and roll down the mountain of snow until they reach the ground. Kristoff arrives at the lake where he is running through a storm, and Anna tries to call him. The princess realizes that her body is gradually freezing, while the young man crosses a ship that is breaking up and narrowly missing him. The ice begins to crack and a hole opens up in the floor of the frozen lake, so Kristoff jumps in, but Sven stays behind. After a few seconds, the animal emerges from the depths of the water, so the young man can continue his mission. Prince Hans finds Elsa and tells her that the princess came back from her trip weak and perished of a frozen heart, and that it's all the queen's fault. The young woman feels very ill and collapses to the ground, which stops the snowstorm. In this way, Kristoff can see Anna, and she runs towards her sister, who is about to be attacked by Hans, but the princess stops him by putting her hand in front of his sword. At that instant, her body freezes and repels the sword, and Anna becomes an ice statue. At the same moment, Elsa hugs her sister. This makes the ice melt and the girl returns to normal with her red hair. The queen unleashes her magic and makes all the snow disappear from Arendelle. However, Olaf begins to melt, but Majesty restores his body and places a cloud of ice on top of his head. On the other hand, Hans gets up and Kristoff prepares to attack him, but Anna interrupts him and delivers a powerful punch to the prince's face, causing him to fall into the water. The princess presents Kristoff with a new sled, the latest model on the market, and he is so happy that he kisses her. Elsa turns a courtyard into an ice rink, and all the citizens of Arendelle celebrate. So what did you think of this movie? Leave it in the comments below. And if you liked the video, like and subscribe for more movie recaps. See you next time.